Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Hello. Well, that was entertaining, wasn't it? I enjoyed that. Gary screaming his fucking head up at me. It was actually very entertaining, Gary. I'll grant you that. I'll grant you that. Oh, but anyway, that's not the reason I'm here. Well, I would actually love to tell you just slobbering. I'd actually like to tell him to just fuck off. But at the same time, I just want to tell you to fuck off. I actually do want to generally explain some things to you, Gary, because, see, I'm watching this video here. I'm gathering my evidence to explain why you're wrong on almost every point. There might have been a tiny little bit of truth somewhere in what you said, but it's so tiny it's not worth making a deal of yet. But well, if I've been wrong anyway, I will apologise. But I think some of it's a misunderstanding. You've got the wrong idea about this job offer shit. I wasn't saying you were offering me the job. No, you put the job offer. Anybody who just searches the words job offer in your list of videos, they'll come across the video I'm on about. I'm not on about you offering me a job, or me accepting a job, or you offering me money, or me asking for money. I didn't want any money. Never want any money. Of course, no. That wasn't the point. You put a job offer out there asking other people, anybody with enough intelligence, to do your radio experiment, didn't you, right? So you put your job offer out there, offering $300 to do the blah, 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 blah. Now, after about a month, nobody offered. So I said, look, I bought the equipment to do it for myself anyway. I just wanted to repeat the Waterlooing experiment. Because I mainly wanted to see the 4 times intensity thing. That was the main thing. Plus, I was interested in seeing the experiment done the same as you, minus having sound on it, you know. So I wanted to remove the sound. So I was curious about those two things for my own good. And so I said, I've got the equipment. I'm going to do it anyway for my own sake. And happy to do whatever you want me to do. Pretty much, anyway, within reason. I didn't envisage, in all honesty, I didn't envisage that you were going to say, well, try it this way and try it that way and try it the other way. I didn't mind up to a point trying different ways. Actually, I'll show you what, I'll just to prove that point. Hang on. I've got to reach over here. There's a load of stuff here that I bought. I know it sounds daft, but you're asking me to make parabolic reflector like on a ship's radar, weren't you? Like, you know, and so I went out and bought tons of cutlery of every shape and size. There's some brilliant shapes. It's surprising what cutlery you can buy that looks like ship's radar, you know. So I don't know if that's too big or too small, but it's not really a parabol. You need the proper thing. So I'm looking on eBay, and you can actually buy the proper parabolic horns, you know, for specific microwave frequencies. So I'll do that. But I don't really see why I should have to, knowing full well that you're not going to accept the results no matter what. You will argue no matter what the results. You'll say, no, it wasn't making enough, or it was a flawed concept, and the only test is this, or it's impossible to say. I don't know. You will have an excuse. That's your talent, Gary. Making excuses, dodging accusations, and saying, I didn't say that, I said it the other way. And nobody can be bothered to look up the information to check what you actually did. Well, I can be bothered. So that's why it's taking me ages to upload any videos. I've cleared the way. I've got rid of all my videos temporarily. Well, they aren't deleted. They're just gone for now, you know what I mean? Made private, whatever. But I can put them up anytime I want. But I just want to start afresh, because all those videos, they're confusing to people. I made too much. I gave too much detail about how I was making the transmitter, how I was doing this and how. And even I'm fucking bored by it. So it's a disaster zone. And now this one you're looking at here, this one, hang on. This one is a disaster zone. This one, I tried to explain to you how paramagnetism and Lenz's law and diamagnetism all relate to one another. And I didn't want to touch on paramagnetism because you know what paramagnetism is, or most people do. Oh yeah, I was supposed to show you all this one before I forget. Yeah, anyway, these are the sort of things I thought might make suitable radar dishes. Oh, but you see, this has got the labels on them. I bought them all new, just for your sake. No, I wasn't asking you to pay for them, right? It was a hobby, and I'm happy to do it up to a point. Except when you start calling me my efforts crap and saying that, you know, inferring that I've not even tried. You know, because you're a lying cunt. That's what you are. I tried very hard, and I wasn't asking you to pay anything. The only reason I'm suggesting now that you donate some money towards a suitable fund is because you're being a cunt. You're being an ungrateful cunt about it. And anyway, I'm trying to cover too much ground at once. Now, yeah, this one here, the paramagnetism thing. I was trying to explain why. I was trying to differentiate, explain as clear as I possibly could the difference between Lenz's law, diamagnetism, paramagnetism. And unfortunately, I do genuinely feel sorry for you here, because you seem like you're genuinely trying to understand things, but you've genuinely got your wires crossed. And for the 2 years or so since you made this, every time I've watched this, your response to it, I think, well, where do I start explaining to you why you're wrong, Gary? I don't want to be mean to you when I respond to this, because I always feel sorry for you, listening to you, I can see and hear the cogs working in your head, trying to figure out how paramagnetism, diamagnetism, ferromagnetism, and Lenz's law all work together. And it's like you're almost getting it, but you're not, and it's so frustrating because you keep thinking that maglev trains and paramagnetism have got some kind of connection. There's no connection whatsoever. But it seems to me that at certain points you keep connecting paramagnetism with Lenz's law. There's no relationship between paramagnetism and Lenz's law. There's no connection. So when you say that maglev trains run on paramagnetism, it's bullshit. So when you were accusing Walter Lewin of being mistaken, saying when he said that paramagnetism is a weak, I have to think about it, is it reflective? It's repulsive, isn't it? Yeah. Paramagnetism is a weak, very, very weak, repulsive force. Oh, I forgot that wrong. It is easy to get mixed up between diamagnetism and paramagnetism. But anyway, I'll think about that after. But anyway, I've got a little video I'll put up just to make it easy to remember. I need to watch the video myself, the one I made a while ago. It's trying to differentiate another video, trying to make it clearer than this one did, because this one, it ended up being messy and you didn't trust what I'd done. You're telling people that the raising, which is diamagnetic, you're telling them that because it's ferromagnetic. No, it's not. Well, because it contains water and therefore it's a conductor. Well, yeah, but that's not. See, there's so many things I need to explain to you. See, cogs are going round in my head. You're thinking, if I tried to explain to you about raisins would invoke Lenz's law in some limited way, because they would conduct in a limited sense, you can get the wrong idea. And see, okay, I'll say what I was thinking. Look, I don't set fire to me. I was thinking, put this out properly. Look, when I had that magnet like that, and I was pushing the raising along, if that was Lenz's law, you'll be able to pull it as well as push it. Do you follow me? Now you probably don't. In fact, most people won't get this. Most people, even sparkies, qualified electricians, engineers, lots of people don't get this. That Lenz's law is not all about repulsion. That's a mistake you make. Somewhere in this video, you mentioned about it being about repulsion. It's not. That's 50% of the story, Gary. Lenz's law is both repulsion and attraction. When you do the, I've not got the thing with me right now, I'm using the magnet upstairs, but when you use this Lenz's law toy demonstration, when you drop the magnet through it, this isn't actually a magnet, this is a piece of steel, but when you drop it through and it goes through slow because of the Lenz's law induction effect, it's not being slowed down by repulsion alone. It's being slowed down by repulsion and attraction. You could say, in a crude sense, and it might not be quite accurate, but you could say that the front half of it, as it goes through, is meeting resistance, repulsion. It's not really quite like that, a bit more complex geometry than that. And the rear side is like a parachute being dragged behind it. It's like attraction. But it is true to say that it's like, I don't know if it's literally 50-50, but 50% like attraction trying to stop it from pulling through, and 50% repulsion trying to stop it dropping through. I forgot what I was trying to do. Oh yeah, the raising. So when I was pushing the raising along, I was demonstrating that because it's diamagnetic. That's how you have to remember. Yeah, that's a good way to remember it. When you were pushing the raisin along, it was suspended on a piece of it was suspended on a piece of cotton on the end of a whatever arrangement I had. Oh yeah, it was on the end of a drinking straw, wasn't it? Yeah. So it was very lightweight and it could just swing around anyway. When I was pushing the magnet near it, didn't matter which polarity it was inducing the same, because it's a coming towards motion. This is Lenz's law now. Because it was a coming, it was a motion towards, shall we say. It was if that was south, then it would be inducing south against it. So south, it's going to repel. It's going to move away. But now this is the part that most people get wrong, and including you. If you pull that same south pole away, it doesn't induce a south pole anymore in that. If this is the raising, it induces a north pole in it. So it follows it. It wants to follow them. In other words, Lenz's law states, in other words, as Lenz's law states, in electromagnetic induction, the current induced will always be of such a direction as to oppose the motion which caused it in the first place. So in this case, the motion coming towards it's been opposed, so it's been pushed away. But if you pull the magnet away instead, it would have pulled it with it. I should do that, shouldn't I? Really? I can't be. I've not got a raisin. Finding fruit in this house will be, something of a miracle. But anyway, okay. So again, Lenz's law states that in electromagnetic induction, the current induced in the material will always be of such a direction as to oppose the motion or change, because it also includes Lenz's law in transformers, transformer-like action. It will always oppose the motion or change which caused it in the first place. Therefore, me moving the magnet towards it is inducing current in it if it was Lenz's law. Yeah, of course. That's why it wouldn't. I forgot why I'm on about this in the first place. Right. The reason it wouldn't pull, the reason the magnet wouldn't pull it along as well as push it along is because it wasn't Lenz's law. It was not Lenz's law happening there in the first place. That I was trying to demonstrate, Gary. I was trying to demonstrate diamagnetism, because most fruit apparently is diamagnetic. I don't know why. Ask AB Science. Magnetism is his area of expertise. He can run circles around the rest of us talking about magnetism, because that's his job. That's his speciality. Well, I like to think he could run rings around us. Yeah, so AB Science is the person to ask about this, really, to get a more official explanation. I must admit, though, I do have some doubts about AB Science, because he said that he failed physics initially, didn't he? So then he obviously worked very hard to pull himself up by his bootlaces, and so all credit to him. But when people fail exams initially, and that makes me think, well, you didn't have an aptitude for it then, did you, necessarily? Yeah. Now that might be wrong of me to say that, but I've never had any difficulty whatsoever with any physics type exams. I mean, well, in the areas that I have actually studied. I mean, oh, by the way, talking of studying, you say you've been watching Walter Lewin thing is, 100 hours worth, as if that's impressive. It's not impressive at all, Gary. You've never been to college. You've not for any substantial length of time. You've not had to pass any exams in anything, so you don't understand the rigorous nature of actually studying and actually achieving a qualification, because it's not just a matter of sitting there listening to somebody to talk for 100 hours in total, or whatever it happens to be. And then they go, oh, well, I've done my work there. That's 2.5 working weeks worth of sitting there on your bottom listening to somebody talk. That's not studying, Gary. It's a start, but that's all it is. Anyway, but the point I was getting at is that, as Magnus Marbles rightly pointed out, you didn't get around to actually watching 803 episode. Was it 21, 22? Because, in fact, you didn't watch any of 803, did you? Now, I googled asking, saying what is the difference between 802 and 803, and there is a difference. Walter Lewin explained it in quite clear terms. There's a 15-minute video where he talks about the differences between 801, 802, and 803. But it turns out when I googled when I searched your list of videos, there wasn't any on 803. Any. It was all 802. Unfortunately, 802, from what I recall Walter Lewin saying, 802 is all about, essentially, it's basically more about electrical principles, and it touches on wave phenomena, but not as in depth, he explains, not as in depth as 803. So really, you need to go back to doing 803 now. But anyway, the point was, watching videos for 100 hours is not studying, Gary. It's only studying proper if you do it consistently, day in, day out, and that then ultimately resolving in you taking an examination to verify that you've understood the information that you were supposed to understand. Because we have no way of measuring, of gauging how much of 802 you actually understood. Now, you might dispute a lot of what 802 or 803 if you actually bother to watch 803 and try and study that as well. But we have no way of gauging how much of those lectures you actually comprehended properly, because you've not taken an exam in these things. I dare say what you could do for your own satisfaction is you could take a mock exam, couldn't you? You could find some old papers and take the exam and try and do it as legitimately as you could, and you could sort of then ask somebody, I don't know. I'm sure there'd be somebody happy to mark your paper, and then at least you would know whether you got 60%, 30%, 100%. Not. I guarantee it wouldn't be 100%, because even I can see the flaws in your understanding of a lot of things in 802. So, but anyway, yeah, I think you need to stop bragging that you've sat there and watched all these. I've watched 100 hours worth of Shakespeare, at least, probably a lot more than that. But I know fuck all about Shakespeare plays. I've probably watched 100 hours worth of Harold Pinter. Jesus Christ, that's 100 hours of life I'm never getting back. But anyway, but the overall message, Gary, is fuck off. If you're gonna talk shit about me, left, right, and centre, then I'm not gonna be too kind back to you. And you have been talking shit about me ever since, well, for quite a long time, really. You've been quite snidey about it. Yeah, and at first I was kind of forgiving, thinking, well, he's just upset because he didn't get the result he wanted, or because I didn't do the experiment to the standard he hoped and expected, which I concede I didn't. It wasn't my best effort. I did have to rush it in the end. I did have to sort of say, well, look, I'm out now. I'm burnt out. And partly you think me and Hitler had some sort of splendid relationship, as friends on Facebook or whatever. You couldn't be further from the truth. We didn't get on. But we still talk to each other as civil human beings. I didn't agree with a lot of things Hitler agreed with. In fact, he seemed to support you on some of the things you say more than I did. I said to him once, I said, I'm having some problem with when I thumb my thumbs up, the thumbs up and thumb down thing. I said, you know, my vote doesn't seem to count. You know, I can thumb. I didn't say whether thumbed up or down. I was a bit cagey about whether I was thumbing you up or down. I was actually thumbing you down, but he didn't know that. He thought I was thumbing you up. So, yeah, so I can't remember what he said exactly, but I've forgotten what point I was making. Anyway, I'll shut up for now. But rest assured, anybody out there who thinks that Gary's explanations sound legitimate, because he is very, very talented, and he's got the gift of the gab. He really has. I mean, he can. I was going to say he could talk a glass eye to sleep, but that's the opposite. Actually, he can. That is something Hitler did say. Actually, he did say Hitler. Sorry, that is something he did say. He said in his later days, a week before he died. Actually, he said he was using Gary's videos to get to sleep. He said I said he was nutty or a nutcase or something. It had the word nut in anyway. And now Gary thinks I should stump up the proof that you know, come on, show us these emails or whatever it was. I can't remember if it was emails or you know, it was used on Facebook messages and things like that. Yeah, now I'm not going to say anything that I can't actually. If he came to court, you know, yeah, I'll bother them. I'll bother to go through my old Facebook messages and find when he said these things. I'm not going to do it just because Cuntface says I should. Anyway, that'll do for now, I think. Yeah, so lots of videos coming up, folks, by the way, the debunking Gary's bullshit, because Gary does talk one heck of a lot of bullshit. But at the same time, I do still feel sorry for him. When I listen to a video like this, I do feel sorry for him because I think, oh, he thinks paramagnetism and LENZ'S are the same. It's like arguing with a 5-year-old kid. It's like if a 5-year-old kid thinks the moon is a star, you know, and you're trying to explain to him why it's different.